Welcome to the Treat Your Business podcast, the show for clinic owners who want real, honest advice and tried and tested ways of doing things. I'm Katie Bell, and this is the new era of bigger insights and bolder conversations to help you grow a clinic and a life you love. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is a little bit different, and if I'm honest, it's as much as a reminder for me as it is maybe for you. I've been thinking about for ages. And I can't believe I'm really saying this out loud. It's about setting up a book club. And when I mean a book club, I mean like a personal development book club. That means I read the books for you and you listen to a short episode every day, which gives you like a breakdown of the chapter, for example, a little bit of teaching and like the thing that they're asking us to do or the action, if there is one, and that you can just listen to that rather than have to consume the book. You can consume the book at the same time if you want to, because we all know that is the best way of listening and actually doing things. But so many of my listeners and people that I coach say, oh God, like I've got a pile of books that I'm just still not getting through. And I read so much and I read so many personal developments. In fact, I'm looking at my bookshelf now, just packed full of personal development books. And I think, would this be a great idea? Would people want to do that? Be part of a book club, personal development book club with KB's book club? I feel like that's a working title. Anyway, I have been reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. I read this book. This is, I would say, one of the classics that I read years and years ago. I then read it again a few years later, and I'm reading it again because every time you read it, it hits differently. And it's one of those books that you'll read early on in your career because somebody's told you to read it, and you'll nod along and you think, yeah, it's really good. That's great, Stephen. And then you revisit it at a completely different stage of your life and your business as you're possibly going to the next level, and it just hits differently. What really stood out to me this time was that, and I always like to put my hat on in terms of the clinic owners that I'm working with, is that like you guys, you don't have a knowledge problem. You get it. You understand this stuff. You don't know what you don't know, of course, but it's a lot of this is that we just get in our own way. And it's that we have these habits and these behaviours that means we are consistently acting like the person that is running a business we don't actually want. So what I mean here is that I hear lots of you like say you're time poor, you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, you are exhausted, you're not paying yourself the same amount of the money that you want, but actually you're acting like that person. You're not consistently acting like the person who runs the business we say we want. So thought maybe I'll just walk through these 7 habits. I might only get to one, who knows, but not in a textbook way, but in a way that I want to show you how you can actually show up and how I actually show up in my week, within my clinic, within my business, within my decisions as a CEO. And this is where I really see clinic owners getting this wrong all the time. I hear your problems, I hear your questions, and I'm like, what is making you want to behave in that way and have those kind of habits? So he talks about 7 habits of highly effective people. But I think what is important is understanding what they're not, or maybe the 7 habits of highly ineffective people. And I'm not saying that you're ineffective, but I'm saying that you could be more effective. So habit number 1 of ineffective people, okay, is react. So this is, and I see this a lot. I still love you all, but we blame our problems on our team, our parents, our genes, our personalities, our spouse, your ex, the economy, the freaking Gulf War. I've heard that recently. I'm not going to invest because of Trump. But seriously? And we become a victim. So we take no responsibility for life. And this is like a real big game changer. The minute that you recognize that you are the center of your business and of your life, and you actually get to decide how it runs at all times, then we can't just be in reactive mode. We have to be proactive. Stephen Covey's number one habit is be proactive. This sounds simple, right? But it's not easy, because being proactive actually means taking responsibility, not just when things are going really well, but especially when they're not. So when the team aren't performing, when you're getting lots of cancellations, when, it's the time of year, it's the economy, it's all of this is seasonal. I want you to look at all of those things and why they exist. And the shift for me is that it's, if something feels off in the business, if something feels hard and not working for you, you need to look at, what have I not addressed here? What have I not communicated? Where have I not led? Where have I not made a decision? Where am I being led? Where am I not in control? The question alone changes everything, because it puts you back in control. Like, it's always like, whenever there is an issue, first of all, I smash a mirror right there in front of, no, I mean, don't smash a mirror in front of you, put a mirror right in front of you, because there is where the problem lies. It's where your power also is. So are you reacting to your business, or are you actually leading it? I ran a Q&A last night for people who attended Clinic Growth Live. And one of the biggest things that I kept saying over and over again was that, like, don't wait to find out how much money you've made. Go out with the plan to make the money. Like, you need forecasts, you need projections, you need to decide what your business is going to do, not go, oh, how did April go? It's like, you need to be absolutely in control of that. So that's habit number one. Habit number two, if you were being a highly ineffective person, would be begin with nothing in mind. This is, I see, and again, probably what I link to what I've just said, is that people don't plan ahead. They don't set goals, or they do set goals, but they're a bit airy-fairy. They're not very measurable. They're nothing to do with actually planning what the business needs to do to serve them. And a highly ineffective person just wouldn't worry about the consequences of your actions. It's just like you're rolling with the punches and you're going with the flow. You're living for the moment. You party on, like tomorrow you may die kind of attitude. Yeah, tomorrow you may die, but you need to begin with the end in mind. So the second habit of a highly effective person is to begin with the end. Because so many of you are so busy, you're not actually building the business that you want. You're building something that might look successful on the outside, but it feels very heavy on the inside. Like, and I totally get this. I've been there. You wake up, you're straight into patients, you're squeezing an admin, you're firefighting problems, and suddenly another year has gone by and nothing has really changed. Or you've just been really super busy, but like you've not moved the needle forward in ways that is actually serving you. So every single week you have to come back to, does my week reflect the business that I'm trying to build, or have I got busy doing other people's shit? Not just what needs doing, but where am I going? If I was to look into your diary, does it align with the vision that you have for this business? Or are you like busy bees doing lots of stuff, but not really the stuff that matters? You're just drifting rather than building. Habit number three, if you are a highly ineffective person, would be to put first things last. Procrastinate. See this so many times. Just, yeah, I want to do it. Yeah, I'm going to make the decision. I'm going to get out my own way. And then they talk themselves out of it. You do all of the urgent things first. I'm just going to do this thing first, like answering every call, beep, notification, your emails, posting another random stupid post on social media. And you'll say, I'll get to the important stuff later. But you never do. It's like I have this endless to-do list and I don't eat the biggest frogs. I put all of those small things first. I start emptying the dishwasher. Philippa, she starts scrubbing her towels with a toothbrush. I start mowing the lawn and doing random shit like that. Like, we all procrastinate. There's all of us procrastinate. Now, procrastination is not an effective habit. And I don't procrastinate a lot at all. And it's often because I'm a deadline person. That's where I find myself procrastinating. So I would get a lot of shit done, but I will have to do it with not much time left, particularly when it comes to creation of stuff.
because I have to feel in a certain way. I have to be in the moment. I can't like pre-plan too much. And when I do that, I don't deliver my best. Okay. A highly effective person puts first things first, not first things last. And this is a really big one. Put first things first. In simple terms, your diary reflects your priorities, not your intentions. So have a look at your diary. This is where most clinic owners fall down, because they say they want to grow the business, but their diary says something completely different because it's full of patients. You've got admin time, whatever the fuck that is. You've got last minute problem solving. You're reacting to messages. You've got very little actual CEO time. And I'm not saying I get this perfect, because I definitely don't, but I'm very aware of it. And I actively protect time in my week to think, to review numbers, to plan, to lead my team. Because if I don't, I slip straight back into being the busiest person in the building or in the office, but actually not doing anything that matters. So if I looked at your diary right now, would I see a CEO, a business leader, or would I just see an overwhelmed clinician? Habit number 4. A highly ineffective person would think win-lose. Okay, they would see life as a vicious competition. Everyone's out to get you. You better get them first. Don't let others succeed. Because remember, if they win, you lose. We are what's competition mindset. If it looks like you're going to lose, however, make sure you drag that sucker down with you. Now, most of us don't have that as a habit, but we are looking at what everybody else is doing. A highly effective person thinks win-win. They think, I'm really going to step into leadership because the business is no longer just about you. It's about your team. It's about your clients. It's about the impact that you are making and creating. And this is where I see clinic owners go wrong. They try to maximize profit at the expense of their team. They underpay. They try and squeeze every fucking last drop out of their team. They overwork people. They hold too tightly to control. And the reality is that is not a win-win. That's really short-term thinking. So for me, I'm constantly asking, like, how to create something right here where the business wins, the team wins, the client wins, because that's where sustainability comes from. I want to do lovely things with my team, so I have to create a business that supports that. Habit number 5 is, if I was being highly ineffective, and it would be seek first to talk and then pretend to listen. Seek first to talk and then pretend to listen. A highly ineffective person would say, I was born with a mouth, so I'll use it. I'll talk a lot. I'll make sure everyone understands your views first, and then pretend to listen whilst really thinking about your next job. A highly effective person seeks first to understand. Because most problems in clinics is not performance problems, it's communication problems. I've definitely been guilty of this, right? It's jumping in, assuming I know the issue, trying to fix things really quickly, communicating ahead of my team, not empowering them, jumping into stuff, taking that monkey back. And whether it's a team issue, a client complaint, something not working, I have to slow down. Like my brain works at a million miles a second. So I need to slow down. I need to ask more questions. This one habit alone really transforms your team dynamics, and it stops you being the bottleneck all of the time. Habit number 6 of a highly ineffective person would be to be an island. Okay. Being an island is about feeling like if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. If you want something done, just ask a busy person. Feeling like teamwork's just overrated. Cooperation just slows everyone down. This is just my idea. Let's get on board and let's just do it. So because you have the best ideas, often as a visionary, yes, of course you do, you're better off just doing the things by yourself, being your own special island. Habit number 6 from a highly effective CEO is synergise. Simple terms, don't do this alone. So many of you try to figure out everything by yourself, carry everything yourself, solve every problem yourself, and it is exhausting. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of what I hear is, okay, I'm going to take all of that you've just taught me and I'm going to try and figure it out for myself, and I'm going to try and implement it by myself. And it's like, why? Why do you think you can now do that when you've not done it for the last 7 years? Like, the information's out there. There's books you can read. There's the whole of the website you can, the internet that you can consume, but you're still not made it happen. And that's because knowledge alone is not just what you need. Real growth happens when you bring in the right people, when you trust them, you collaborate with them, you actually let things go, you stop being the bottleneck, and you get help and support to walk that path quicker than you could possibly have walked it, by somebody, from somebody that has been there already and is going to help you not make the mistakes that are very costly from time, money, and energy point of view. So, because doing everything yourself is not a strength, believe me, like you should be really empowered to not have to do that much. Habit number 7 from a really ineffective person is to burn yourself out. It's to be too busy driving to take the time to actually go and get petrol. How many times have you broken down? I do this all the time. I think, 2 miles left in the tank. Reckon I could get to Sainsbury's and back. No, that's a lie. Would never go to Sainsbury's. Hate the big shop. But I would try and squeeze another journey, mainly because I saw an episode of Top Gear once that they did a test when it got to 0, how far they could actually go without breaking down. And I'm pretty sure they got 100 miles out the tank. And I see it as a little bit of a competition of how far I could possibly go. Anyway, a highly ineffective person would be too busy living to take time to recharge and renew, like too busy doing things, avoiding exercise, telling they haven't got time, not committing to reading, self-development, personal development, listening to this podcast regularly, getting support, being coached, just burn, go, go. Keep seeing a million patients, over-delivering, having no boundaries. Because a highly effective person sharpens the saw. It's all about you. It's about your energy, your capacity, your well-being. Because if you burn out, your business is useless. Your business will feel it. And I think in this industry, we almost wear busy as a bit of a badge of honor. But the truth is, you can't build a great business from a place of constant exhaustion. So for me, this looks like very clear boundaries, having time off, space to think, not always being on, seeing less patients. Again, we're not all perfect, but it's about being intentional. So these are the 7 habits that he talks about. And like I said at the start, none of this is new to you. You've probably heard most of it before, but here's the difference. Some of you go, this is really nice. That's really nice, Casey. This is a great episode. And others ask, right, okay, where am I not living this yet? Because unless you are where you want to be, end goal, done, don't want to grow anymore, you've not done the work yet. It isn't about doing more. It's about becoming somebody different. It's becoming the person who leads properly, thinks strategically, creates structure, builds something that actually gives you time, income, and freedom. If this episode hit home for you, please share it. Drop me a message if you would really like me to do a book club. I'm not sure I should have said that out loud, but I just feel like we say we're going to do things, don't we? And we don't actually do them. And here's the difference. I actually do it. I'm a highly motivated person. I don't need a huge level of accountability, but I do need accountability when I'm in that growth phase, when I'm going to that next level. I need people that have walked that walk, talk that talk. I need to learn from them. And more importantly, just pick one habit, just one, and ask yourself, where am I not doing this yet? Where am I burning myself out? Where am I trying to do it all by myself and not leaning into my team? Where am I first just jumping in and trying to fix everything and not seeking to first understand? Where am I thinking like this competitive mentality where it's all about this kind of win-lose mentality rather than this win-win mentality? Where am I squeezing and forcing and putting pressure on my team? Where am I putting first things last? So where am I procrastinating? Where am I not making that big decision? I'm talking myself out of it again. Where am I not ending with where am I not starting with the end in mind? Where am I just being reactive? And where am I reacting in blaming all my problems on Trump, the war, the economy, all of these things that you feel are out of your control? Yes, they are. You can't control any of those, but what you can control is how you show up. That was like a whirlwind episode on the 7 habits. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. It always is great for me to stretch me, push me, make me rethink, where am I really leaning into some of these and where am I not? So I hope you love this episode. Emma, you've got me solo for the whole of this month. What an absolute treat. So I will be back, just me, next week with another fun-filled episode. See you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Treat Your Business podcast. Hit subscribe now and keep joining me for bigger insights, bolder conversations to help you build a clinic and a life you love.